corrupt, disintegrating government of Mexico condemned our judge's ruling in Texas. Did somebody ask Mexico for its opinion? I mean, if anything, Mexico should be paying the bill for all this. Washington Times, Stephen Danan, Mexico condemned a federal judge's decision this week to halt Obama's deportation amnesty, saying the court ruling denies fair treatment to illegal immigrant Mexicans who've worked supporting the American... Shut up, you Mexican government, the Mexican Foreign Ministry. Disgusting and pathetic. They lecture us about immigrants, what they do to immigrants in their own country. That should be brought up to that wonderful United Nations. They have no respect for us, this government. None whatsoever. The Foreign Ministry of Mexico? I mean, look how they talk to us. Look how they talk about us. You jerks, you creeps. The Mexican government has for years pushed its northern neighbor to enact a legalizing program so its citizens can remain in the United States, and have begun issuing new Mexican identity documents to illegal immigrants to use to gain status under Obama's amnesty. The Foreign Ministry said it will keep watching to see if Judge Hennon's injunction is lifted, and will keep its citizens up to date on their ability to apply to stay in the U.S. This is atrocious. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem with a lack of assimilation. When people come here at the urging of the Mexican government, the corrupt Mexican government, and the Mexican government through its consulates and its embassy are still representing their citizens in our country, then they're not citizens of our country. They're either dual citizens or they have a legal status created by Obama while they remain citizens of Mexico. Now, that's not how this is supposed to work. You're supposed to cut all your ties to another country. I don't mean you cut your cultural ties, your family ties. You cut your citizenship and legal ties to another country. You're an American. And we have the Mexican government claiming to represent people in our own country while our president's trying to give them citizenship. This has never, ever happened in American history. Jeb Bush, you're a fool. And Marco Rubio, you're not far behind. And the entire damn Republican Party and all their damn donors are participating in this disaster. We're not a country of immigrants like this. We never have been. Never. Where we have a foreign government representing people in this country who are on the track for legalization and citizenship. Never. And denouncing a federal judge's ruling, the foreign ministry, as if they're Luis Gutierrez or Jorge Ramos, threatening us with militancy. This is outrageous. Meanwhile, will the Mexican government reimburse us for the draining of proceeds, money out of Social Security? Will the Mexican government reimburse us for the draining of resources out of Medicare? Will the Mexican government reimburse you, the American people, for the earned income tax credit, where people who are here illegally, working illegally under false documents, can now go back and get 3 years of welfare that could amount to $24,000 a family? Mexican government can stick it. And nobody's outraged but me. Incredible. What a bunch of saps and suckers we are. Incredible. We don't have anybody speaking for us in the executive branch. Anybody speaking for us in any of the leadership of the Republican or Democrat Party. And we actually have candidates who want you to nominate them for president, who agree with the government of Mexico, who agree with subsidizing illegal immigrants. And they give these phony reasons. We can't shut down the Department of Homeland Security for national security reasons. Senator Rubio, you couldn't shut it down if you wanted to. You'd have to abolish it. Don't you understand? 83% of the employees there, 200,000 out of 231,000, are essential government employees, as identified by the government itself. They can't go home. They have to work. You got it? Oh, but they're going to shut it down. Shut down what? Meanwhile, the Constitution, does that matter? Does that matter to any of these suck-ups and sellouts? Any of them? No, it doesn't. You cannot say what Marco said. You cannot say what Jeb said and then claim that you defend and support the Constitution. It's that simple. Separation of powers goes to the core of the matter, goes to the heart of the matter. Read John Adams. Read Thomas Jefferson. Read James Madison. Every single delegate at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia in 1787, every single one of them, the key issue was separation of powers, how to create these branches. They embraced Charles de Montague, John Locke, and the other enlightened philosophers. And they knew that centralized, concentrated power is the definition of tyranny. Is it too much to expect men who seek the Republican nomination for president to understand this basic founding concept and principle? John Adams wrote an entire book on the issue of separation of powers. Benjamin Franklin made it utterly clear. You cannot have a republic if you don't have separation of powers. And of course, he wasn't the only one. This is essentially what the judge said, who's being trashed by the Mexican government, as if it's any of their business. Trashed by Luis Gutierrez, trashed by Jorge Ramos, and trashed indirectly by the Republican leadership. Now, you can see, some of us actually believe in the rule of law. Some of us actually believe in the Constitution. Some of us actually believe in American sovereignty. But you can see the nation sliding. We actually have people in this country who want it both ways. Dual citizenship. I reject dual citizenship. You'll hear me defend Israel. You'll hear me defend Israel because it's a free country. I'm not a citizen of Israel. I don't believe in dual citizenship. I'm an American citizen. And isn't it amazing, ladies and gentlemen, when Benjamin Netanyahu is scheduled to give a speech without the approval of the president? I didn't say he could speak in front of Congress. I'm in charge here. Everybody knows that. I'm in charge, except when it comes to the Islamo-Nazis. But when it comes to the Jews, I'm in charge. All the Democrats all worked up. But when the Mexican government interferes substantively with our Constitution, with our judicial system, when the Mexican government, through its foreign ministry and its consulates in this country, are encouraging its citizens to take advantage of our laws and our welfare system, to give them lawyers to bring lawsuits, nobody says a damn thing. Isn't that amazing, Mr. Producer? Netanyahu gives a speech and the whole world goes to hell. Oh, protocol, you know. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, when this damn administration sued the state of Arizona over its immigration laws, and it went all the way to the United States Supreme Court, are you aware that the Mexican government and about a dozen other governments in this hemisphere filed briefs in our Supreme Court against Arizona? Something that we mentioned in our brief at Landmark Legal Foundation, the interference of foreign governments in our internal affairs. Oh, but Netanyahu's going to give a speech. That doesn't interfere with our internal affairs. What interferes with our internal affairs is when another government is actually encouraging its citizens to take advantage of our laws and our welfare system. And so when finally we have some Republicans willing to stand up in the Senate, not all, you see the weak sisters, they're starting, stand up for the Constitution, the separation of powers, just as the framers of the Constitution would insist. Now you see the weak breaking off from the strong. Let's just hope it doesn't become a stampede, because these Republicans tend to go in a stampede form.